6 महीने के बाद if touch wood God forbids अगर तब separate हुए होते, ऐसा तो नहीं है कि किसी को नहीं पता होता, सबको पता चलता. People still put in 2 and 2 together if in his posts my pictures are not there, if in my post his pictures are not there, if we are not liking each other's posts. People are free there to make judgments and everything.
I was actually becoming very
paranoid.
Yes, in certain way, which wasn't going well with her. And then one day I tell her that, I have to step out, I have to get some stuff. So conveniently I got my stuff and I forgot what she had asked me, and that one thing was coffee.
If you come and speak even something to insinuate or to disrespect my man, I will not tolerate that. And for that, be it a person thrown out or walked out of the show, or a person that I was dealing with in the show, you come, you are going to see the wrath and the fury. Having a child or parenthood is like you going through that evolution. So I think once we both are prepared, we are going to communicate with no words to each other.
When I saw Bigg Boss, you're saying this because, and everybody knows, it's like history that I have only supported both of you because I loved both of you on the show, and genuinely I felt there was a sense of dignity in anything that happened. Even if there was a fight between the two of you, you guys have had that dignity in handling it on national television. My point is that a lot of things happened on the show. You addressed, he was not ready to, he was a little hesitant about addressing it because of family and how the family would react to you guys separating. You addressed it on national television. Can I tell you, Ruby, last time we spoke about it, but if you go back to those dates, you will see a lot of people after your revelation, whenever there would be an argument between the two of you, it would be taken in a very different way. The same people who reacted to it in a different way before the revelation have reacted to it differently. That, oh, हमको तो पहले ही लगा था. This is what I'm trying to say, that everybody thinks and everybody waits for people to. Like, I remember in the opening episode somebody asked you a question also, right? Like a journalist, that there were rumors, and when it was not addressed also.
Exactly.
Did you see that? Did you notice that when you guys addressed it, and were you prepared for it, or were you prepared for it? Because on the show I felt like you were not prepared to say it out to the world, especially in front of your family.
Yeah, I wasn't. I hadn't even informed my parents. I had just discussed it with my brother. He knew it, and till the time I was very certain this is going ahead, I'm not speaking it to my dad and mom. Because you tell things to your parents when you're final. Jab tum khud hi, you're not sure about it, you tell them, you're just like, they'll be like worried about it. So I had discussed it at length with my brother, in fact her mother, and then things just, it just naturally, it just mended on its own.
So firstly, yes, I have seen and experienced and had such kind of people who would have drastically flipped their opinions or their conduct towards you after knowing a certain specific highlight of your life, and that is natural. And I would I would buy that point that he said, that people who have achieved lesser than you, or who somewhere deep down aspire to be at that position or want to be you, will
try to pull you down,
or will outrightly negate that thing in you or in your relationship or whatever, because they haven't been able to achieve that in their lives. So that I completely agree to. Second, now so many people have asked that,
why did you say it on national
TV? Why did you bring it on national TV? Was it pehle se thought after or whatever? And I've said it mindfully, and I'll again say it, maybe rephrase it. We are public figures, है ना? 6 महीने के बाद, if touch wood, God forbids, अगर तब separate हुए होते, ऐसा तो नहीं है कि किसी को नहीं पता होता, सबको पता चलता. People still put in 2 and 2 together if in his posts my pictures are not there, if in my post his pictures are not there, if we are not liking each other's posts. People are free there to make judgments and everything.
True.
ठीक है? They are going to any which ways mudsling your relationship or whatever it is.
And
which
the
is
worst
not-
will be the theories.
and the theories behind them.
the conspiracy
Right. Yeah.
theories.
And you tell me in today's time, or maybe at least within this decade, with the advance of social media, has there anything been under wrap for like long, even if you want to keep it tight and intact? तो यार as public figures ये मेरी personal responsibility थी कि आज नहीं तो कल, if it works or if it doesn't work, people are going to talk about it.
Yeah.
You are any which way is going to be out there. We've gotten an opportunity where we are actually working on our relationship. Let's be bold enough, let's be courageous enough, and let's have that respect to bring it on a national TV and be there as we are, honestly.
Absolutely.
Because that I assume as a social responsibility. मुझे ऐसा लगता है. हालांकि लोगों ने तो उस पे भी वो बोला, oh you are so image conscious. You are, I was pelted with stones with this also. You're so image conscious. You think तुम्हें इस चीज़ की चिंता होती है, लोग क्या सोचेंगे, लोग क्या बोलेंगे. मैंने कहा मुझे इस चीज़ की चिंता नहीं होती, लोग क्या सोचेंगे और क्या बोलेंगे. But as a public figure, I assume this responsibility of making my life as an example that as human beings, we will fail, we will have breakdowns, we will have bad days, but it is in our human tendency to just walk straight forward with our dignity and with our respect, and hence we can create an example for the others. Why not?
Yeah,
Yeah,
हम
because-
ये क्लीशे बोलते हैं ना, he's a strong man, she's a strong woman. What does that strong mean? It doesn't
Yeah.
mean physically strong, that you can move things
Yeah.
around, you can, beat people. No. Strength means strength of your character. मैं ये हूँ, मेरे लिए ये चीज़ें सही हैं, मैं ये करूँगा. मैं किसी प्रेशर में बज नहीं आने वाला हूँ. Neither I'll find a shortcut, neither if, because see, in that house now, there's a lot of pressure on
Absolutely,
everyone.
absolutely.
Everyone wants to be visible. यार मैं ही दिखूं बस, मैं ही दिखूं. और there's a lot of talk inside the house. अरे तू दिख तो ले पहले, तू तो दिख ही नहीं रहा है. So people change their personality to be visible. I was clear about
No,
one
you
thing.
didn't.
I was clear about one thing. Just to be visible, I'm not going to do it. I'm not a
Yeah.
guy who does shortcuts.
Never.
And that's exactly what the show is all about. Your strength of character.
No, I
And
absolutely
जो लोग-
loved you for this.
Yeah,
Believe me.
in fact, she was the way she was. She called spade a spade, and that's
Yeah.
exactly why you are the winner.
No, but Ruby,
that was strength of character.
when this happened, I understood why you said it without judging it, and I understood why he didn't want it to be said without judging him. That is how ideally it should be. We should actually agree to disagree and accept everybody's opinion and choices in life.
Correct.
Unfortunately, we don't do that on a
Correct.
regular basis, especially on social media. You will never find that. तो मैंने ये notice किया है खुद के. मतलब I have noticed this change when it happened. But again, it happened in a very dignified way. And the good thing is that you guys are still together.
Yeah.
Right? But one thing that I want to ask you is, I've heard this. Did it happen over a cup of coffee? For a cup of coffee?
It happened for coffee.
What?
I forgot to get her coffee. Yeah.
What are you saying, Ruby?
Yeah.
Ruby, I support you everywhere. I want to know if this is true. This is, what is this?
So basically, that time was tough for everyone.
The
Everyone is
lockdown.
locked down, and I felt it was my responsibility in the first lockdown that we shouldn't contract this COVID. As of now, नहीं. ठीक है, maybe later on हो ही जाएगा, ये सबको हो जाएगा. But अभी के लिए, I have to work with lab precision. So I was actually becoming very,
Paranoid.
yes, in certain way, which wasn't going well with her. And then one day I tell her that, I have to step out, I have to get some stuff. So conveniently I got my stuff and I forgot what she had asked me. And that one thing was coffee. So but see, that is just a catalyst.
That is a
That's
catalyst for
not
things
a-
that were building up for so
Yes.
long.
Yeah.
So that was a catalyst. That's what, started off the, the whole whatever tension between us. And I kept on thinking, yeah, I'm doing the right thing. Though I'm being very paranoid, I'm doing, like, ये किसी चीज़ को हाथ लगाया, मैंने कहा क्यों लगाया उधर हाथ? You've just lifted that, that थैली जो बाहर से आई है, वहाँ पे क्यों लगा दिया? I know a thing about virus, they're like nanoparticles, they can just fly off. So I am thinking from a lab precision, point of view, which she won't understand, and I don't expect her to understand. But I can visualize the entire thing, and I'm getting too much. But I thought, yeah, this is my responsibility. At least first wave, we both should, like sail through it. Second, everybody would be prepared. There would be a medical protocol set up, and then that's fine.
But now you're fine, now, because now
I'm
you're like. But what do you think was the build-up? Was there any, like, do you feel like a lot of things happened in lockdown also because you were stuck to a place? So
Yes.
it was not like
Absolutely.
it was not like genuinely there were issues between people, but the problem is that when you're stuck to one place, looking at each other continuously, not having a life which you usually do, it definitely plays with your system. Do you think that's what happened?
So the build-up that I was talking about, the build-up is about the assumed responsibility and the assumed expectations from each other. Now, as he rightly mentioned that, he was paranoid with the whole thing.
Yeah.
But in that paranoia, you can only think the best that you know, and you build a wall for the other person, assuming that I know it the best,
Yeah.
not the others,
Yeah.
not this person would know it. And on the other hand, what is the other person thinking? You can't know it all. I have my own experiences. So when two strong-headed people want to communicate, they can't communicate. Now for the assumed responsibility, if I am handling the kitchen, I'm somewhere assuming that, yeah, itni to expectations mein rakh sakti hu na, if nobody is coming home or we are not having helps and anything, you could help me in some of the chores. He would help, but then he would help at his whims and fancies with his choices. But I am expecting this, no, he should do everything. But why am I expecting it? I should rather be so self-sufficient that, if he helps, I'm more than happy that he's coming and helping. But that creates a dent, because my expectations are way up there. In so many years, in those 12, 13 years of my career and work, this is the first time that I'm absolutely at home with no help, nothing, doing everything from jhadu, pocha, katka, everything. And now I have to handle someone along with me. Now I have to take care of someone along with me, where according to me, I feel less of
Give and take.
And it's more of giving.
Yeah.
That's absolutely in my head. Now, how do you communicate that? Because I am expecting that has to be understood. This is to be understood. You can't be communicating it. So when that gap of communication widens, even a small gesture from the other end feels like, oh, ye to ehsaan hai. Oh, the person would never understand. And that's how your insecurities, your tensions build up. Then you don't want to talk to each other in a nice, supportive way, because that communication thing has grown so wide that it is just sore to even look at the person.
Yeah.
Abhi bahar kahan jaye? How do you vent it out? How do you distract yourself? How much will you distract yourself? पहले तो हमारे पास easy distraction थे ना, friends से जाकर मिलिए, आज party कर लिया, आज house distraction, आज काम पर चले गए, काम पर नहीं सोचा कुछ नहीं, अभी तो distractions है ही नहीं, अभी life is like deal it, you are here right now, just deal it. So I think that lack of communication,
See, man,
it
drastic.
just went.
For me, drastic times need drastic measures. I was very clear about it. और मुझे था यार ये अभी जो भी है, it will be fine, but I can't shrug away from the responsibility. I have to protect both
At
of
that
us.
point, yeah.
Yeah. उसके लिए कुछ भी हो जाए. All those emotions and everything. Secondary, first is we should not fall sick in the first wave, and that's exactly what I was telling all my friends, my family. कि ऐसा करो वैसा करो, ये टाइम थोड़ा निकाल लो, because see it takes while for the medical system to understand क्या हो रहा है, इसकी protocol क्या है, इसमें क्या medicine देनी है, So I wanted to buy that time. I knew someday or the other day we'll get it.
So now the practicality and the emotional side.
Correct.
That he's going out and preaching everyone, he's just not coming in and communicating that to me. So my emotional side is just building up, but his practical way, which he's absolutely right at his place, but I am somewhere wanting to have an emotional thing, a connection during that time. So I think, exactly going back to our conversation, the differences, if we learn to embrace them, if we agree to disagree, I think half of the battle is won there.
Yeah, absolutely. And kudos to you, because I think after you guys spoke about it, a lot of people, even on the show, really wanted and tried their best to separate the two of you without naming anybody, to be very honest. And actually I'll name, because मुझे एक बार बहुत मतलब I took a personal ये, not that I knew him personally, but I felt like बेइज्जती कर रहे थे मतलब at a point, and I was so happy with your stance, because you remember Kavita's whole incident. See, I'm all for women, but at the same time, when you're not able to justify what you're actually claiming, which is so severe against a man's, like you said, strength of character, अगर तुम character ही छीन लो उनसे, just because you want to like say, I'm not saying I don't know her side of the story, but at that point I felt his silence was being misunderstood, and at the same time you were taking up for him, which is a great thing, but that was also being misunderstood by people who wanted to take it that way, right? Was it a difficult situation inside the house, because you didn't even know what was going to happen outside, you know?
I was very mindful, and I had assumed this responsibility. If I'm opening about my very, very intimate side of my relationship on a national TV, I will be bashed, judgments would be thrown on me, and you know, not everybody would understand. I think apart from friends and family, nobody will understand, that is given. Amidst that, when this particular incident, which was honestly spoken out there on national TV, when people started taking undue advantage of it,
Yeah.
that was the time when I said that, you know, it is our personal thing, which mindfully I have took up the responsibility of bringing it out on a national television with everything, you know, with utmost transparency. I don't give, you know, a jack's ass if you come and speak even something to insinuate or to disrespect my man. I will not tolerate that. And for that, be it a person thrown out or walked out of the show, or a person that I was dealing with in the show, you come, you are going to see the wrath and the fury. And if you just approach, even if you advance one step towards my man, and which is just full of malign and just full of disrespect,
exactly.
Just
I'm
like
not-
I said, you'll
I'm
always
not
be
going to-
criticized.
yeah.
You know, people will conspire who are doing less than you. I've understood it. And the moment you accept this reality of life, you will be at peace with yourself.
But did it ever bother you? Because you were, like I said, like you were inside the show and you didn't know how it will pan out, you know. And in the first 3-4 days after it happened, let me tell you, it panned out very badly. It panned out, initially it panned out so badly that the channel had to get them and get that clarification, because it was not a very right thing, or not a very small thing that was said, and small thing that was actually also insinuated, to be very honest.
Correct. And that's why we had a detailed discussion. It's on record. People have seen it. That I'm not going to take the same route. There is something called the law, the justice, which protects people like us.
Yeah.
And मैं तो पूरे बिग बॉस में यही बोलता रहा हूँ कि यार मेरा पर्सनल स्पेस वायलेट मत करना, ठीक है? I'm not going to do any sort of aggression, any sort of violence on anyone, but I have right to defend myself if you come very close to me or to my wife. I have all the right.
Yeah.
और वो right बिग बॉस नहीं, वो right भारत की constitution has given me.
Absolutely.
You know, so I was very clear about it. So once you know the law, once you understand the law, you know, that's what becomes your strength. You don't do like stupid things and, you know, like, what do you say, clever things to cause harm to someone. You know, there is something which will protect you. And that's exactly what I said, but then very next day there was a resolution which was, I mean, everyone was okay with it.
And good on that, good on the channel for doing that, because it's not something
Yes.
that should be normalized also. Not for any show, not for anything. It's a very sad thing. But moving on, I want to ask you, you've been in a relationship for the last 8 years. This year will be 8 years.
Yes.
January, April, May में 8 साल.
8 साल.
You've been married for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 years.
No. This will be our 4th anniversary.
Fourth, yeah, 4
2022,
years.
yeah.
So I want to know that are you getting to hear from your family to start a family, or is it like something that you guys discuss?
This is already a family.
I am taking care of a man baby. It's okay. I have one.
But never a discussion between the two of you?
I think we, as you know, as we have come together to walk this journey of our lives, like with utmost clarity and sincerity towards each other, we let things happen and we give time to each other, and we just, some things naturally pan out.
Yeah.
You don't have to discuss or underline things, right? Like for even for the matter of getting committed, or marriage, or the proposal thing, it was somewhere, it was brewing. And
Yeah,
then
we weren't on a deadline.
exactly.
Yeah.
So,
So we
there's
were
never
never
been
on
a
a
deadline.
timeline.
Yeah, there's never been a deadline. So when I believe that when naturally things will pan out, when we'll be deciding upon taking our relationship to the next phase of evolution, I believe having a child or parenthood is like you going through that evolution. So I think once we both are prepared, we are going to communicate with no words to each other, and that's like
the
one of the
best.
strongest things,
Best
touch wood,
thing.
between both of us. Most of our highly valued emotions have always been communicated without words. So I can understand a lot of things just with his one stare.
And it's beautiful because couples who can speak through the silences are possibly going to last a lifetime. This is something that my mom tells me. That when I tell her that this generation is not a generation that values commitment or relationship or emotions of any kind, she always tells me that eventually, everybody will find somebody who you can speak through your silences. My mom and dad can speak through their silences in a very beautiful way. They can fight through their silences, where I become their mouthpiece. That's a different story, but it does happen.
Yes,
And
yes.
on that note, I'm so happy actually that, eventually your relationship has evolved to something more concrete. There could have never been anybody who could have come in between the two of you, and there possibly will never be insecurities also now that can come in between the two of you, and that's the beauty of your relationship. Thank you for doing this. It was
Thank
lovely.
you so much. Thank you.
Hi, this is Abhinav Shukla, and
This is his proud wife Rubina Dilaik, and
you're watching us on Bollywood Bubble. Please like, share,
share
subscribe.
and subscribe.